Hello, everybody. My name is Joya Bustamante, like Mario said. I'm from Odessa, Texas, also known as West Texas. But I grew up in a ranch in a little town called Monahans, Texas. Now, I want to share a little bit about my life. Growing up, me and my brothers and sisters, we'd always play outside, and we always like do stuff, go outside, and because we lived in a ranch, there was a lot of land, and we would go and play outdoors and chase the cows or run away from the cows and horses, and we play like imaginative games, like the aliens are coming, they're gonna eat our brains or something, and a lot of times, since it was West Texas, it was very, very hot, and we would also play a lot inside, and we'd get in trouble a lot. There's this one story I want to share. One time, my mom went out of the house. She had to go run an errand, and we were there doing stuff. And my brothers and my older sister and my older brother got the idea to play baseball inside the house. Well, we didn't have a real baseball or baseball bat, but we found this bouncy ball and a stick, and they started like throwing it across each other, and Gideon was like hitting it with the stick, and then my sister's like, "Oh, I want a bat too," and Gideon's like, "No," and so he ran all over the place, and she tried catching him, but then I don't know what happened. Like he threw the stick, and it hit a vase, and it cracked, and we were like, everybody froze, like, "Oh no." Now, this wasn't just any vase. This was my parents' wedding gift vase. It had their names, like, inscripted on there. It was very, very, very special to them. And so we all freaked out. We're like, oh, no, Mom's going to come, and she's going to see it, and we're going to get in so much trouble. So my sister was like, okay, I got this. We can fix it. So she ran to her to the drawer with with glue, and she got super glue, and she tried to glue it together. And we found almost all of the pieces except one piece. And so we're like, great. How about we angle it a little bit away from the door so she can't see it? But I don't know why. When the first thing she noticed when she walked in the door was the vase that was broken. And we got in so much trouble. I'm sure growing up, everybody had those situations where you're playing with your friends or your siblings and something wrong happens, and you're like, oh, well, we got to fix this. But when you try fixing it, it just seems to get worse. And many times, even though we're not kids anymore, we still get ourselves into sticky situations. You don't mean to talk to that one guy when you already had a boyfriend. Same to you guys. Or maybe you should have smoked that pot at that party. Or maybe you should have gone to that party. You knew you shouldn't have gone, but you went anyway. We have those moments where our minds go crazy, like, oh, no, I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have said that at all, and I just need to fix it. I need to fix it. And we mess up so bad, and we try to fix it, but it just gets worse. Okay, there are times when I mess up really bad, and I don't want even God to know what happened. So I try to hide it, and I try to fix it myself, but it doesn't work. Sometimes we try to fix our situations, like with my sister with the glue. We try to fix it with drugs. We try to fix it with alcohol. We try to fix it with another person, but it doesn't help at all. It just gets worse. We try to there is only one fix that can solve all problems, and that's what I would like to share with you today. There is this ultimate fix that can help you with any situation, confusion, any type of situation that you're going through. It can ultimately fix the problem you have. And I would like to share with you a passage in James chapter 4, verse 6 through 10. And I have it right here. Okay, but he gives us more grace. That is why Scripture say, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Submit yourselves then to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Grieve, mourn, and wail. Change your laughter to mourning, and joy, and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. Just like the story I shared with you earlier about me and my siblings, we broke the vase and we tried to fix it and hide the fact that it happened and tried to glue it together and fix the vase so that my mom wouldn't find out, but she found out and we got into trouble. There are times when we mess up in life. You probably didn't have the same problem I did. You didn't break the vase or break your neighbor's window. We all have problems that we've tried to fix. I'm not talking about those kinds of problems, literally. I'm talking about getting involved with someone you really shouldn't have gotten involved with, or something you can't stop doing. Maybe you did something to a close friend and you can't seem to fix that relationship. We don't want God to find out because we think, oh, well, it's okay, I can fix it. Or need anyone to help us. It might not even be a relational problem. You can't even seem to figure out why you're here on earth, yet things just get worse, and we sometimes go to other things to help fix it. Like cheating on your homework assignments, lying to your friends and family, doing drugs. We go and turn to other things that we believe we will bring the pieces together in our lives, but that fix doesn't last long. Today I want to talk to you about an ultimate fix, a fix that will fix any situation you're going through. I want to share with you 3 things to do to overcome any situation you might have. Submit, draw near to God, and purify your hearts. Back to verse 6 through 7, it says, but he gives us more grace. That is why Scripture says God opposes the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. Submit yourselves then to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Well, submitting yourself then to... Oh, just read that. What does it mean to submit to God? The word submit means to yield and to follow another opinion or authority higher than yours. Following what God says, in this case. You're probably wondering, why is it important to submit to God? You're no longer following yourself. When you chose to believe in God, you changed your direction, and you're now following what he says, what the word says. You yield to a greater knowledge and not your own understanding. You have already tried to fix the problems, but nothing seems to work. You have to stop and follow his instruction. Submitting and humbling yourself go hand in hand. You realize that you cannot fix the problem you've already tried. You've already tried, but nothing seems to work. Another story that happened to me when I was little, Gideon, it was Gideon, me, and my younger brother, and we were cleaning, and Gideon knocked over this other vase, but it wasn't that important. And then we broke the piece. It got really bad broken. And we had this thing where we like to break glass. So we had this wall where we'd go and throw glasses. Like my mom was like, "Oh, we don't need this anymore. You go throw it away." And so we're like, "Oh, we take it outside and just throw it and let it crash." And we had the big old pieces. We're like, "Okay, let's go throw it away." And since it was broken, we knew that we weren't supposed to play with it, but we went anyways because my mom was taking a nap. And I got this one piece, and I threw it really hard, and it sliced my finger, and I got a really deep cut, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I ran inside, and I put it into the sink, and I was waiting for the blood to kind of go away, but it was just pouring blood. And I'm like, "Oh, great. I need a Band-Aid." And so I put a Band-Aid on it, and then my brothers came, and we were just watching TV, and I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do. It was throbbing, and it was over flooding my Band-Aid with blood. And so I told Gideon, I was like, should I tell Mom? He's like, no, it's fine. Just put a Band-Aid. I'm like, I did. Well, put another one. It'll be fine. It'll stop bleeding. But eventually, it was throbbing, and it was turning a different color, and I'm like, oh, this doesn't look normal at all. I went to my mom, and I told her, Mom, do you have any Neosporin or something? She goes, Yeah, what happened? I'm like, I just got scratched. She's like, well, what? Let me see it. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. It's like, it won't stop bleeding. And she's like, that's not a scratch. You have to go to the hospital and get stitches. And I'm like, oh, great. Just like, I had to submit to my mom and follow her direction. I had to humble myself and say, okay, Mom, I can't do this on my own. I need help. Back to verse 8 in the book of James. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. We're living in a generation where it teaches us to be independent, where we can do it on our own. We can fix our problems on our own. But you're where you are where you're at because of what you've done and won't stop doing. You try to fix it yourself, but you can't. Only God can. The only way your problems, your struggles, your pains can be fixed is when you get close to God. He won't push his way into your life. You have to go up to him and he'll fix everything. He will come near to you when you come near to him. This doesn't mean he was never there. This just means that he won't force his way into your life. It's your decision. If you really want to ultimately fix your problems, you have to take the first step and come near to God and submit to him. I really wanted my finger to stop bleeding. It was throbbing and it was just freaking me out. Like blood was everywhere. I was so scared that my finger was going to fall off. At first, I didn't want to tell my mom to know everything, even though I know I was in the same house as she. I had to go to her. I had to go to where she was. I had to get close to her and tell her and listen to her instruction for help in order for her to help me. We have to do the same with God. We have to purify our hearts. In verse 8, also, it says, Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. When I was little, I'd play outside a lot, and I'd get a lot of scratches and bruises from playing outside and roughhousing. Something that I learned from this was watch where you're going. And second, my mom would always tell me whenever I got a scratch, wash your wound so it won't get infected. And I would have to put water and put hydrogen peroxide to clean it and disinfect it. If I were to just leave it there, it would get infected and it would even hurt even more and it would get all green and nasty. If we just leave it alone, the pain would get worse. That's the same with our problems. Pushing away the fixes that don't satisfy us won't be easy. Stop talking to that person you know you shouldn't be talking to, or stop doing the things that you know you shouldn't be getting involved in. It's not going to be easy. In fact, it'll hurt even more. But sometimes we have to go through pain in order to heal correctly. Even with a flesh wound, you have to put hydrogen peroxide or alcohol, and it's going to sting, but it kills all the germs and will keep it from getting infected. God is the only one who can clean us. We just have to submit to him and draw near to him. When you humble yourself and get close to God, you need to be sincere. If we really want God to fix our problems, we have to clean ourselves. Stop doing the things we're doing that bring us pain and confusion. Wash your hands and purify your hearts. Wash the dirt from our hands, and he will fix our lives and put us together. Whenever you wash a wound, you have to first wash it with water to clean the dirt from the out part. The water won't clean the flesh wound inside, only the hydrogen peroxide. And that's where God comes in. We have to stop doing what we're doing. We have to repent and give the rest up to God, and he'll clean everything. There's an old hymn that goes, God, who will enter your kingdom? Those with pure hearts and clean hands. God, I want to enter your kingdom. Give me a pure heart and clean hands. God has ultimately called us to clean our hands, but we can't clean ourselves. Only God can. The only way we can be cleansed is if we submit to God and what he says, what he's telling us about that guy or girl that you're with. Is it holding you from a relationship from God? What is he telling you about addictions? You can't fix it. God is the only one who can ultimately fix your problems. I want to challenge you to go to God. Submit to what he has to say and what he and that he is your higher authority. Come to God and he will purify your hearts and fix your problems.